Saints fans, we're in a sub battle right now with Broncos Breakdown and Matthew Peterson. Help us win this thing and catch our Broncos channel here at Chat Sports. Go down, hit that big red subscribe button, and let's show the world what Who Dat Nation is all about. Welcome into Saints Now. I am Will Scott, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about some guys on the roster bubble, breaking down a couple names who are kind of on the fence. If you follow college basketball, know about bracketology, and are like me checking that every single day in the month of February and March, this is a show for you because you'll kind of understand the bubble kind of aspect to an NFL roster. We begin with Tre'Quan Smith, who is on the roster bubble. In fact, many fans want to part with Tre'Quan, whether that's trading or cutting him. He was brought back on a 2-year, $6 million deal. However, the reason that he's on the roster bubble is because the Saints wide receiver room is loaded. You draft Chris Olave, you sign Jarvis Landry, you have several other really high-quality wide receivers on this team. Tre'Quan Smith is somewhat buried right now on this depth chart. Here's what he did last season. So 32 receptions, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns were the totals from Tre'Quan this past season. Talking about another guy, Rashid Shaheed, who is a undrafted free agent who is on this roster, the FCS all-time leader in kickoff return touchdowns. He's guaranteed $207,000. And when you're talking about potential UDFAs that can make the team, you have to look at guaranteed money. That is a lot of money for an undrafted free agent, and he had a stellar career at Weber State in terms of his special team numbers. 7 touchdowns, over 2,500 return yards. This was an explosive player on special teams. In fact, he was the best return man in the country at Weber State. Maybe he can challenge Tre'Quan for that last spot. Are you ready for the Saints 2022 season? If so, type me down in the comments section. I'm typing me. I am ready. We have been talking about the 2022 season for quite some time with new head coach Dennis Allen, with a lot of new talent on this team. I think we're all really excited about the Saints 2022 season. Let's talk about Taco Charlton, another guy who is on the roster bubble. He signed a 1-year contract, was a first-round pick in the 2017 NFL Draft by Dallas. Now, Peyton Turner has been medically cleared from his shoulder injury, so there's certainly some depth there on the defensive line. And, Taco has just never lived up to that first-round draft type when he was selected by Dallas. Here's what he's done throughout his career. He's been just not someone who's been extremely valuable. I hate to say it, on an NFL roster. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers last season and had 18 tackles. So he just isn't someone that's lived up to the hype of being a first-round pick. Let's take a look at the Saints defensive line. We got Cam Jordan, the man Cam, there on the left side. Marcus Davenport on the right side. You, of course, have Peyton Turner. So because Peyton Turner is back fully healthy, now that kind of slides Taco Charlton a little bit further back on the depth chart. To be honest, I would be surprised if he made this roster. Rank the Saints defense right now. Do the Saints have a top 5 defense? Scale it 1 to 32. Let me know where you think the Saints defense stacks up among the best defenses in the NFL. Lucas Krull, our guy. In fact, I think Lucas Krull needs to come on the show. Producer Trace, are you listening? Because Lucas Krull, we've talked a lot about him on the program, and good for good reason. He has been one of the better Saints UDFAs. He signed his UDFA after the 2022 draft. Now, Juwan Johnson has bulked up this offseason. He's expected to have a pretty big season, and making it maybe a little bit harder for Krull to take his spot. So that means the tight end battle will be very interesting at training camp in the coming weeks. You have Adam Troutman right now as the first option at tight end on this team. Taysom Hill no longer playing quarterback. He's now going to be primarily a tight end behind Troutman. You have Nick Vannett, and then you have Juwan Johnson, Schultz, and Lucas Krull all on this roster. When you're looking at how many tight ends a team carries, it varies from 3 to 5. Most teams carry 3. Kroll has made noise since being drafted. We talked about this guy is a winner of rookie minicamp, and then is a winner of minicamp and a winner of OTAs, and I guarantee you we're going to be talking about him as a winner at training camp as well. He has been stellar, and I think if he continues to produce, he's going to make this football team. By the way, you can go down and get your T-shirt combo, 40% off, chatsports.com/Saints T-shirt. So 2 T-shirts, 40% off. You can get them both. Rep the black and gold by going to chatsports.com/Saints T-shirt. Great deal we're giving you here on Saints Now. Dwayne Washington, someone else who is on the roster bubble. He has, kind of been somewhat overlooked because of the signing of Abram Smith, undrafted free agent out of Baylor. His role has primarily been on special teams. He's a veteran, has been in the league the last 6 seasons, so he's someone that I don't really think we're considering as a top 2 or 3 option, obviously, at the running back position. Here's what he has done in his career, just 47 carries in 54 games played. So 54 games played with the Saints. We'll have to see if he makes this roster or not. If the Saints were to trade for a running back without giving up any of their current running backs, I would be very, very surprised if Washington made this team, because you have Kamara, you have Mark Ingram, you have Tony Jones Jr. You're probably going to carry 4 running backs, so who's going to be the 4th guy? Personally, I think it's going to be Abram Smith. Now, pick one to keep. Is it going to be Dwayne Washington, or is it going to be UDFA Abram Smith? If you think it's going to be Washington, type DW, or if you think it's going to be Abram Smith, type AS down in the comments section. It's the pinned comment on today's video. When ad break comes, go down. Let me know what you think, DW or AS. Let's talk about smoke. You don't want the smoke. Smoke Monday we talking about here on the program. Signed as an undrafted free agent out of Auburn this offseason. Now, the Saints don't have a need at safety, but Monday was one of the better UDFAs in all of football. In fact, in my opinion, probably a top 5 or top 10 UDFA pickup. He was expected to be drafted. A very talented player, big play mentality, needs some time to develop his coverage skills. Here's what the Honey Badger said about him. He's going to be a good player in this league. He's a physical player, great length and size. Kid studies a lot. High praise there from Tyrann Mathieu. Here's what Smoke did last season for the Auburn Tigers. 44 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5 pass breakups, and an interception. I really like Smoke. He was someone who was kind of all over the field for Auburn this past year. Now the question is, could Smoke Monday compete for Dan Sorensen's spot? That is what it's going to take to make this roster. He's going to have to take Sorensen's spot. Taking a look at the Saints depth chart, you got Dan Sorensen kind of right there. You got Gray, Evans, Monday, along with Marcus May and the Honey Badger. I'm still so happy that the Honey Badger's on the Saints. It's quite wild just looking at this graphic. It's still a dream. Here are the players on the roster bubble. So you got Tre'Quan Smith, a wide receiver who we're very familiar with. Taco Charlton, defensive end. Lucas Krull, Dwayne Washington, Smoke Monday. If you're asking me right now, I think Tre'Quan's going to make it. Taco will not. Lucas Krull will make it. Dwayne will not. Smoke might be literally the last guy cut. He is very, very firmly on the roster bubble. So I think 2 of these guys make it, maybe 3. Will Smoke Monday make the roster? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I hope if he doesn't make it, they'll at least keep him on the practice squad, because I think Smoke has a lot of potential. He also has the best name in all of football. Thanks for watching this edition of Saints Now. Go down and subscribe to the channel. Look, I'm telling you, the more subs we get here on Saints Now, the more content you will get, because our bosses, James Yoder and Brett Scott, will be like, hey, Who Dat Nation is legit. We need more videos on that channel. Go down and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at WillScott44. I'm covering the NBA. I'm covering the NFL. So hit me up with a follow on Twitter for more sports content.